I hope you guys still remember this story because there is a major update on it. Frank Akpan, the confessed killer of 26 years old Hinny Umoren, is now backpedaling on his initial claim. On the 6th of April 2022, while he was in court, he came forward to give his final statement. Now remember that he is the one representing himself in court. And also remember at the initial time when the charges was read to him last year in 2021, he pled guilty to the killing of 26 years old Hinny Umoren. However, just last week on the 6th of April, right in front of the judge and in the presence of everyone, including the young girl's family, this young man claimed that he does not know who Hinny Umoren is. He said with his own mouth that he does not know who this girl is, that he has never seen her before, and that he has never sexually assaulted anyone, nor has he killed anyone. And when they reminded him that he pled guilty when the charges was read to him, he claimed that the only reason he said he was guilty at the time was because he had a fever. And he maintained his claim that he does not know who this girl is and he has never seen her before. Now, it's unclear what this means for the entire case, but I'm having a feeling he's trying to take us back. He's trying to get away with it. He's trying to fight it in court, and he doesn't plan to suffer the consequences of his actions, which may also mean that probably someone is behind him. Even though he is representing himself in court, it is very clear right now that someone is backing him up and telling him what to say in court in order to avoid suffering for killing this girl. Now, for those of you who don't remember the story or who don't know the story, don't worry, I got you. On the 27th of April 2021, 26 years old Hinny Umoren posted on her Twitter page that she needed a job around Uyo State where she lives. A few hours after she tweeted this, 20 years old Ezekiel, who also goes by the name of Ezekiel Frank Akpan, saw the tweet and replied her saying that he has something for her, a secretarial position at a construction company. This is a tweet exchange here. After Hinny saw his response, they both exchanged numbers in the private messages. He also gave her an address to where she would come for the job interview. On the 29th of April would be the last time anyone would see her alive. That day, it was said that she woke up excited and dressed up getting ready for her job interview. Towards afternoon, she headed for the location where she was supposed to do the interview. Somehow, as she was going to the location, which was said to be a little far from her house, it was said that Frank called her to quickly change the location, but still around that area he had initially told her before, but a different street, or should I say a different gate number from the initial one he had sent her. It was at this point she knew something was sort of off. She reached out to her close friend Happiness, letting her know of the situation and even giving her the phone number of the person she was going to see for the job interview, which was Ezekiel's number. Barely an hour after Hinny has given her friend the phone number, the friend got a distress call from Hinny, and in the call she heard Hinny crying and screaming, and the call instantly went off. Soon afterwards, she got a voice note from WhatsApp, and it was also of Hinny screaming in the voice note. That was when the friend quickly reached out to her family and forwarded the family every details that Hinny had sent to her, and also told Hinny family that she is in danger. Now, the friend was not in Uyo at the time. She was in Lagos also looking for a way, equally looking for a job. And that was why all she could do was send a message to her family. She also went on Twitter to alert the users regarding her friend's situation. That was how Hinny Umoren went from a job seeker to a missing person. Now, her family reached out to the police, but the police were slow about it. They went to the police station, but the police told them that they could not do anything that day because it was late. And they also said that she's not technically a missing person until 24 hours, or is it 48 hours is complete. What is painful about this was that Hinny was not just any missing person. She really put out a distress call and a distress voice note. And the police knowing about that and still waiting till the next day to act is something that is still very flawed, and it's something that I would forever blame the police for, because I feel if they had acted earlier enough, she might have still been alive. There were also accusations from the girl's family that the police requested money from them to buy fuel for their vehicle to go and look for her. Although the commissioner of police in Uyo State claimed that the report came to them on the 28th, the family, however, reported her situation on the 27th, the same day she went for that job interview, barely an hour after her friend has informed her family of the distress call she got from Hinny, crying and wailing in pain. So it was obvious that something was going wrong where she was, but the Uyo State police did not respond immediately. Also put in mind that the police had all the details they needed. They had the address she had gone to. They had the boy's phone number. What more would they have needed to look for this girl? Now, between 27th and 28th, Hinny Umoren was a missing person. She was trending on Twitter with the hashtag Find Hinny Umoren. On the 28th, the police bursted into the compound of Frank Udoak, the guy who had called Hinny for the job. This guy. But on getting to the compound, they could not find Frank, nor could they find Hinny Umoren. But they found his father and they took him into custody. Just within this time, Twitter had already done their job in finding and identifying Frank Akpan. At the initial time, they did not know who he was or what he looked like. But after his phone number circulated and details of his address also went viral, people recognized the guy that had most likely held Hinny in captivity to be this Frank Akpan, Ezekiel Frank. He has a lot of names. And people called him out. Tweets and posts were directed at him, in which he also responded from the comfort of his home, claiming that yes, she was supposed to come and see him for a job, but she never got to the place he asked her to come. He pretty much claimed that Hinny Umoren didn't show up to his house, trying to divert attention, claiming that she must have gone somewhere else. This was a post he made, denying that he never set eyes on Hinny Umoren. The only problem was no one believed him. In fact, he got instant backlash. With the intense backlash, it was said he deactivated his Twitter account and also deactivated his Facebook, which eventually added to the suspicion that he was lying and he indeed knew where Hinny Umoren was. Now at this point, we still did not know that she was already dead. We were still hoping that she would be found alive. Soon afterwards, the police announced that they had gone to Udoak's compound, that is Frank Udoak's compound, to look for Hinny Umoren, but they also announced that they did not find the boy nor did they find the girl. However, they found the father of the boy, whom they took to custody. It was at this point that people figured out that the boy had run away. But what they could not understand is why didn't the police find this girl? Is it that the boy ran away with the girl? After his father was arrested, the search for him began, and the possibility that she was still alive reduced its chances. So after a few days of running, he eventually handed himself over to the police. This was after he had learned that his frail father has been arrested and also accused in playing a role in the disappearance of this young girl. Now, another important part of this story was the investigative research, or should I say investigation, carried out by Nigerian journalist David Umoren. Now, his own investigation was sort of private, and it was also gearing into an explanation as to what may have happened to Hinny Umoren. And the reason his research is relevant is because at the time, it did not make sense that he was working alone. Many people suspected that there were more than one people involved in the disappearance of Hinny Umoren. So after Udoak turned himself in, he then took the police back to his father's compound, where he showed them the shallow grave he had buried 26-year-old Hinny Umoren. The grave was dug and her body was recovered. It was at this point the whole world knew that Hinny Umoren was dead. The 26-year-old job seeker, who was just looking for a way to make ends meet, met her end in the hands of this young man. So after making his confession and revealing to the police where he buried the girl's body, it was now time to answer why and how he killed her, in which he claimed he did it by himself and that no one helped him, and that the reason he did it was because he wanted to be sexual with her, but she fought him back in the middle of them doing it, and then just as they were fighting, he hit her head with a stabilizer. I mean, he was basically claiming that they were fighting and that he was only defending himself. That was his claim. But the thing is, not many people believed him. I don't think anyone even believed him. So this is where David Umoren's research played the role, because from his research and from his investigation, he was able to trace the phone numbers that this young man, Frank Akpan, called immediately after killing the young girl. Even before the girl even got to his house, the same number he called after the girl had been killed was the same number he called before the girl got to his place, which kind of gave the impression that Hinny Umoren's death was planned and deliberate. It was almost as if there were more people involved in it. It was almost as if he was sent to do it. Now, when his investigation was published, it went viral and it was an eye-opener because it revealed some kind of underground organ harvesting scheme that involved powerful people in the Uyo state government. Because the phone calls that this guy made immediately after killing Hinny Umoren were to notable people holding positions in the political sector of Uyo State. He was not calling a mechanic for help. He was not calling a teacher. He was calling people in political offices. And those were the people he even went to see when he ran away from his father's house. Those were the people that harbored him till eventually he handed himself to the police. Pretty much David's investigation helped to believe that Frank Akpan was not alone in the killing of Hinny Umoren. Although the police and everyone mentioned in the claims denied that they were not involved in it, they all denied having any involvement in the girl's death. They only just claimed that they were relatives to him and that he was calling them for help and advice, in which they advised him to turn himself in. Now, it was said an autopsy was carried out to determine the cause of her death, and during the autopsy it was also confirmed that she was sexually assaulted. When confronted with the assault and rape claims, he did not exactly deny it. He admitted to doing something with her. However, he claimed that she agreed to it, which kind of means that it wasn't exactly rape according to his claims. And even though many people did not believe him, his story was that they both agreed to do it. That is after he has revealed to Hinny that there was no job. He admitted that he revealed to Hinny that there was no job, that this whole job interview was fake, and that the reason he brought her to his house was so that they could do something together, which he claimed she agreed to. It's still hard to believe that you would call someone for a job interview and eventually tell the person that it's not a job interview, that you just want to have your way with them. Then tell the whole world that the person agreed to willingly have something with you. Those were his claims. He added that when they were doing it, she started attacking him and started hitting him, in which he fought back and hit her head with a stabilizer that eventually killed her. He said he was scared and he eventually went to bury her body in a shallow grave. That was his story. When he was arraigned in court for the first time, he pled guilty. He pled guilty to causing her death, but I think if I remember correctly, he did not plead guilty to sexually assaulting her. It was also stated that he was the one representing himself in court, that he did not have any lawyers because he could not afford them. That is basically where we ended with this story at the initial time. I guess he had been subsequently going to court and they've been talking about the matter in court quietly. It just so happened that on the 6th of April, almost 1 year since the incident occurred, he denied ever knowing this girl or ever seen her. He is now saying that he has never met her before and he has never seen her and that he does not know what the court case is about. He claimed that the first time he ever saw her was when they showed him her picture in prison. Now, we don't know what that means for the case. We don't know if he is trying to take us back. We don't know what his plans are. But obviously and clearly, this proves that there are people behind him. We saw this in the Chidinma's case when she admitted to killing the man, and then after a series of confessions, she took her words back saying that she did not kill the man. It's just the same thing that he's doing now, which I can only interpret as someone is backing him up. Someone is now trying to help him get away with it. The case is still in court currently, and it's still not clear what the future holds in terms of justice for Hinny Umoren. But what is clear is that this guy has now pled not guilty, and there are also words that he is claiming to have a mental disorder. There are also words that he's claiming to be schizophrenic. At the time of the murder, even before then, his father has come out to say that the boy has a mental disorder and he had gone to the hospital in 2020 for that mental disorder, which was before the killing occurred. So it's obvious that they are trying to blame his mental disorder in the killing. Regardless of what the situation is, it's obvious that this boy wants to get away with it. So do let me know what you guys think. Do you think that he's going to get away with it? And do you think that there could have been more people involved in the killing of Hinny Umoren? Do you think they're actually powerful people now backing this guy up? Let me know what you think.